Alright, you guys, back here with another video today. Today we're talking about turning down paid work to pursue free passion projects. Now, before I start and go into this topic, I do want to stress the fact that this is not coming from a place of vanity. I'm not being arrogant, and I'm not coming from a place of being ungrateful. It's none of those things. Anytime somebody opens a door for me or tries to create an opportunity for me, whether they're speaking about me while I'm here or not here, I have the utmost respect and appreciation for them. So I just want to get that off the table right away. But there do come times, and there have been a lot of them lately, where I get opportunities and jobs where people just specifically just want to take advantage of me. And those type of jobs take away from my creativity, take away from my motivation, and they also take my inspiration away. So I have to really sit back and assess the time value of money. I have to really sit back and tell myself, no, I'm not going to do this job. Or tell other people more specifically, no, I'm not going to do this job. But I always do it in a way that's clear and effective, but also with a touch of grace. You don't want to simply just tell people, no, you're not going to do it, because you come off just uninterested and just not professional. You instead want to tell people, hey, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to consider me for your project, but because the monetary compensation is not lining up with expectations, I unfortunately will have to pass on this job currently, but look forward to working with you in the future. At least if you do something like that, you have like a positive amount of endorphins coming out. You give yourself a professional looking demeanor. You make yourself look more respectful in people's eyes. But generally, they don't really care either way, because you're telling them no. They don't want to hear no, but you did the best that you could. If I don't find inspiration and peace in what I'm doing, I don't necessarily want to do what I'm doing, because it's not motivational for me. I got into this sport not for the fame, not for the fame, the monetary value, the women, all of the superficial things that most people in the oversaturated market will get into here for. I really got in here because I wanted to find a creative outlet for myself, whether it be positive or negative, because I wanted to find some way to express how I view the world, visually, emotionally, and sonically. And I could do that by way of my camera lens. And for me, it's easier to turn down work these days because I've established a credibility for myself where, I love what I do. I love myself enough, and I recognize my value to recognize that money isn't everything, and all money isn't good money. I recognize that the most expensive currency you have in life is time, and time is always going to be sequentially more valuable than money. 10 times out of 10, 100% of the time. You can get more money, you can get money back. You can't get more time, you can't get time back. You lose time, you waste, it's gone forever. So with that being the case, sometimes you have to avoid what's in front of you to see what's ahead of you. You have those rose-colored glasses on sometimes. You might get flashed in by the flashy lifestyle of, a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, and they start to add up over time. You got a little bit of money in your pocket. That's great. But what you lack is peace of mind. What you lack is motivation, inspiration. What you lack is that creative touch to tell you want to keep moving forward, to help you progress, take the next step in your career. You can take 15 jobs and make $2,000, right? But at the end of that, you've worked a third of the amount of, you worked 3 times as much as you should have. You got paid a fourth of what you actually got paid because all the discounts and incentives and perks you gave people. And at the end of the day, they didn't refer you for new work. They didn't keep you on retainer and commit to you for future endeavors. They didn't put you in front of different connections that could have helped establish you more in your career. And they didn't show your portfolio to their circle of influence. So all you got is a monetary dollar at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, is it really worth it? Is that all you really want to be known for, is just a dollar? I personally don't. I don't get into this for the monetary of it. Like I said, I have aspirations of working with sports teams, musical artists, and eventually working on a movie set later down in life. And I'm going to work as hard as I need to and put in as many hours as I need to, doing what I love to get to where I want to be, right? Too many times that people tell you who you need to be, right? Who you should be for them specifically. When really in actuality, you should be telling yourself who you want to be. When I tell people no, more often than not, people have the tendency, and better yet, the audacity to tell me who I need to be, why I need to do this stuff for them. And generally that'll come in the form of a response to them saying, oh, you'll get exposure, which is a roundabout way of people just basically telling you they have absolutely no value to offer you. And I flat out tell people no, which they hate because you give them nothing for nothing, which is an equal trade. So I don't understand why people feel like they've been cheated. Too many people want something for nothing, but I think I need something for something. That's a Drake verse, but it hits home. If somebody sends me a message saying I want a discount and it doesn't end with, but in lieu of monetary compensation, I can provide X, there's no need for me to continue the conversation. There's no point in me entertaining a back and forth of you trying to emotionally bully me into doing what you want me to do just to inflate your ego. Too many people have inflated egos, and too many of us as creators feel in, the obligation, I would say, to do something for somebody or do this job or bend over backwards for this person because they feel like it's going to take you to that next step. It's going to get you to where you need to be. But in actuality, that's just a person that's taking advantage of you. That's not somebody you really necessarily need to work with if all they want to do is take advantage of you and bleed you dry for as much as they can. You know, you want to get yourself in a position where you get around people who are credible business people, who stand behind good business and have good fundamental business practice, who can teach you the ways of business and can help spread your name and influence to other places when you're not even around. But ultimately, people don't want to do that. So I find myself asking myself this question: if I don't have one of these three things, what am I doing entertaining this conversation? So go back to the example I mentioned before. If I don't hear one of these three statements or something similar, I just say no. So if I don't get but in lieu of monetary compensation, I can provide one. I can provide you a network or a high-level executive who could put you into that sporting or musical industry to help, improve your portfolio, improve your exposure. Two, I could put you on retainer to ensure that you get the next 5 or 10 jobs with me because the appreciation I have of your craft, I want to reward you by committing to you for additional work in the future. Or 3, I'll simply just market your stuff other than what we're already doing currently because that's a given. I don't know why people actually think that marketing work that you're doing for them is doing you a favor. Like, that's standard practice. You should do that. But essentially marketing your portfolio, giving it to their circle of influence and ensuring that, your name reaches doors in places that you haven't been at before. If I don't get one of those three things, then when I get that question, I ask myself, why am I entertaining this? I simply say I'm not and just tell people no. Like I said, you tell people with a touch of grace, you tell people with respect to show that you're appreciative of the situation, but you value and love yourself to know that you don't have to bend to people's will. You don't have to give into inflated egos to just try to become a better creator or try to get yourself into a better position. I'd rather take the time to work on stuff for myself, work on projects such as this, something that's free so I can give value back to people, and also practice my craft. Speaking in front of people, making mistakes such as this, and not cutting it out because I'm human. I'm not going to cut all these mistakes out. Practice different creative techniques, be innovative, try new things, take new heights where I want to go. It's a little bit easier when you're doing stuff for yourself because you don't have that added pressure of somebody else telling you what you need to do or having a final deliverable that you have to give someone. Your final deliverable is what you envision and what you want to put out into the world, and nobody can take that away from you. And because of that, you find yourself being more joyful, you find yourself being more inspired and wanting to continue to do this, or wanting to continue to do this passion. And it's just overall something that just makes a smile on your face. So I definitely recommend thinking that as a creative. I definitely recommend implementing some of the things I talked about or having some of these mindsets going forward. If you're stressed, if you're overloaded, if you're just overall burnt out and you're just consistently doing job after job after job, like, this isn't really just a passion for you. It's just a transaction. It's a paycheck. And if you're seeing this as a paycheck versus a passion, you're not really going to be a creator, at least in my eyes. You're just somebody who just really wants the superficial stuff. But if you really are a creative, you really want to be passionate about something that you do, take the time to tell people no, focus on yourself, focus on what you want to do, focus on the projects that make you happy, bring them to life, or at least try to the best of your ability to bring those to life. You'll find a lot more mental stability, you'll find a lot more peace, and you'll have better yang with your yang. But that's pretty much everything I have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to turn back into videos such as this one. But until the next time, peace. Oh, I use the other hand, don't I?